Before the first light of dawn, Thabo Mbeki sets out on a pilgrimage that is as much about his own soul as it is about history. The salty breeze of the Atlantic Ocean whispers through the air as he approaches Robben Island, a place etched deeply into the collective memory of South Africa. Every step toward the infamous prison is heavy with reflection, years of struggle, sacrifice, and the hard-fought battle for freedom. Tabo's heart pounds with a mixture of reverence and sorrow, knowing the weight of the stories this island holds. He is a man who has seen the cost of conflict firsthand, scarred by war but healed by hope. Today, he kneels not just to honor a hero, but to confront the ghosts of a nation still wrestling with its past. The prison door stands before him, an iron sentinel guarding memories of pain, resilience, and unbreakable spirit. Tabo's fingers trace the cold, rough surface, feeling the echo of decades trapped behind these walls. He remembers the countless men who were imprisoned here, many of whom never saw the dawn of freedom. Among them, Nelson Mandela, a man who transformed suffering into a beacon of hope for millions. The door is not just a barrier. It is a symbol of oppression, courage, and ultimately, redemption. As Thabo kneels, the enormity of history presses down on him, stirring a profound sense of humility and responsibility. In this sacred moment, he connects with a past that still shapes the present, and with a future that demands remembrance and action. Thabo's thoughts drift to his own journey, a soldier shaped by battles both foreign and domestic, who fought to protect a nation still finding its way. He recalls the comrades he lost, the nights spent wondering if peace would ever come. But here, at Mandela's prison door, those memories converge with the greater story of a people united by hope and sacrifice. Thabo speaks softly, his voice carrying the weight of lived experience and deep respect. He acknowledges the burden Mandela bore, not just as a prisoner, but as a symbol of resistance against unimaginable odds. In kneeling, Thabo honors not only Mandela's legacy, but the countless unnamed heroes whose courage built the foundation of a free South Africa. It is a moment of quiet resolve, an affirmation that the fight for justice and unity continues through every generation willing to stand. As Thabo kneels, the early morning silence around Robben Island feels almost sacred. The waves crash softly against the rocky shore, a rhythmic backdrop to a moment heavy with unspoken emotions. This is not just a soldier paying homage. It is a man bearing witness to history's weight and the ongoing struggle for justice. In this stillness, Thabo's mind drifts to the countless voices silenced within these walls, the whispered prayers, the fierce hopes, the tears shed in secret. Each breath he takes is a connection to those who endured imprisonment and torture, yet refused to surrender their dignity. He bows his head in respect, not just for Mandela, but for every prisoner who carried the flame of freedom in the darkest of times. The silence speaks louder than any speech, echoing the resilience embedded deep within the soul of a nation. Rising slowly, Thabo turned his gaze to the horizon, where the sun begins to cast golden light across the sea. He begins to speak, his voice steady and clear, carrying the weight of experience and hope. Thabo's words are a solemn promise to the generations yet to come, to remember the cost of freedom, to honor the sacrifices made, and to continue the journey toward equality and justice. He speaks of unity, urging young and old alike to build bridges where divisions once stood. His message is a call to courage, not the courage of the battlefield alone, but the courage to forgive, to heal, and to persist. In his speech, the past and future intertwine, weaving a tapestry of shared responsibility and enduring hope. Thabo's words echo across the island, a reminder that Mandela's legacy is alive, breathing through every act of kindness and justice. Word of Thabo's pilgrimage and his heartfelt words spreads quickly, drawing a crowd of diverse faces to Robben Island's shore. Locals, tourists, and descendants of freedom fighters gather, drawn by the power of remembrance and the call to action. The atmosphere is charged, respectful yet electric, as voices join in collective reflection. Thabo welcomes the crowd, sharing stories of struggle and triumph, weaving personal memories with the broader narrative of South Africa's fight for liberation. The crowd listens intently, moved by the sincerity and depth of his message. In this shared moment, the prison door no longer symbolizes confinement, but becomes a gateway to reconciliation and renewed commitment. Together, they stand, a living testament to Mandela's enduring impact and the nation's unyielding pursuit of justice. As the sun climbs higher, news of Tabo's vigil and powerful words spreads throughout South Africa, stirring the hearts of millions. Communities pause their daily routines, gathering in homes, churches, and town halls to listen and reflect. His message resonates deeply across divides, between young and old, rich and poor, black and white, reminding all of the shared history that binds them. Elders recall the dark days of apartheid with renewed clarity, while the youth feel a revived sense of responsibility toward the future. Tabo's kneeling at Mandela's prison door becomes a mirror reflecting the nation's ongoing journey toward healing. It prompts a collective reckoning, a renewed pledge to confront inequality, to honor sacrifice, and to protect the fragile peace, won at great cost. Through Tabo's voice, the country begins to rediscover its soul, united by a common hope for justice and reconciliation. In an intimate moment later that day, Tabo shares his story with a small gathering, offering a window into the soldier behind the public figure. He recounts the toll war took on his spirit, the nights haunted by memories of fallen comrades, the battles fought far from home, and the pain of loss. Yet, he speaks not with bitterness, but with gratitude for the lessons learned and the strength gained. Tabo's testimony bridges personal sacrifice and national struggle, reminding listeners that the fight for freedom is both a public and deeply private journey. He speaks of Mandela's enduring influence, not just as a leader, but as a source of inspiration that carried him through his darkest hours. His words stir the room, evoking tears and nods of understanding, as those present grasp the profound connections between individual courage and collective liberation. In sharing his story, Tabo renews the promise that Mandela's legacy lives on in the hearts of those willing to carry the torch forward. As Tabo's words ripple across South Africa, they ignite a fire of reflection and dialogue throughout the nation. From bustling urban centers to quiet rural villages, people gather to listen, discuss, and confront the truths of their shared past. Social media buzzes with heartfelt tributes, renewed calls for justice, and passionate debates about the unfinished work of reconciliation. Political leaders and activists alike acknowledge the power of Tabo's message, a reminder that Mandela's legacy demands active stewardship, not passive remembrance. Communities begin organizing grassroots initiatives, inspired by the soldiers' call to action, determined to build bridges where walls once divided. Tabo's pilgrimage becomes a catalyst, sparking a collective awakening to the responsibilities and promises still held by a nation striving for true equality. In this moment, the memory of Mandela is not a distant icon, but a living force shaping the path forward. As the sun dips below the horizon, Tabo rises from the prison steps with a heart both heavy and hopeful. The prison door behind him stands not as a symbol of confinement, but as a gateway to ongoing freedom and renewal. He knows this pilgrimage is but one chapter in a much larger story, a story still being written by those willing to fight for justice, truth, and unity. Tabo's voice, once quiet and personal, now echoes across generations, a beacon of resilience and dedication. With every step he takes away from Robben Island, he carries the torch passed down by Mandela, lighting the way for those who come after. The journey continues, fueled by courage, forgiveness, and unwavering hope. And as night falls, the promise remains clear. The legacy of Mandela lives on, not just in history books, but in the hearts and actions of a nation forever changed.